Okay, so let's start. So, um, previously in Tyranny of Dragons, you were basically sent to investigate an abandoned winery north of Greenest. After Mirabel Stormchapel, Greenest's healer, reported two men went comatose after visiting it. You found the place covered in blasphemous runes and discovered a tunnel in the winery's basement leading down into a newly dug cavern. In the cavern, you found a purple-robed wizard operating a portal through which troglodytes were pouring into the cavern. You defeated the wizard and you buried the troglodytes by collapsing the tunnel after you learned that they were part of a raiding force that targeted several settlements in the region, Greenest included. Renil Melarn, who is a drow elf you liberated from the troglodytes, she suggested you travel with her to the raiders' camp and locate 3 dragon eggs supposedly located there. But you decided to head to Greenest and help the townspeople against the raiders. Upon reaching Greenest, you saw that a force of human kobolds, accompanied by a large blue dragon, is attacking the town. And while trying to liberate villagers trapped in the town's temple, you were spotted by the dragon, who actually came to greet you in person. And this is where we stopped last time. So you stand right here, basically. I'm pointing at the map, near Greenest's temple, and you know that there are people trapped inside. There was a host of kobold surrounding the structure, but when they saw the dragon, they fled, which caused you to turn back and look and spot the dragon yourself. Now, at this point, I need you all to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay.
Oh.
So, Talrashar and Thokk, you both cower as this, frightful presence of the dragon basically makes your your leg shake. You are now frightened, and this lasts for 1 minute. Frightened, I'll tell you in a minute what it means, but surprisingly enough, Azael, you managed to shake the effect of the dragon's presence, but you do it in a very interesting way. So, frightened means you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while this dragon is in within line of sight, and you won't move closer to the dragon. Azael, you start to speak in an ancient language that you never know you could speak. You never know you had, the words and the syllables embedded into you. It almost as if something is speaking through you. It sounds, like Latin or something like that. A very menacing language. And as you do, the dragon kind of approaches you. So you have his T-Rex-like head just nose to nose with you, and he says, "What is this? Very interesting." What do you do?
Do I remember the dragon's name?
I'm not sure if I told you or if anyone told you. So let's assume Vadura told you. His name is Lenithon.
So he's face to face with me right now, right?
Oh yeah.
What is this is that we're here to do a job. We're hired mercenaries who do as much looting and plundering for you guys. What's the meaning of this? Lenathan, why are you here?
You're not sure if he smiles or not. Make a Intimidation check? What are you trying to deceive him, intimidate him into leaving you alone?
I would say it's more deception.
Okay, so go for it.
13.
Okay. He looks at you and says, "Lies. You are not cultists. You are not one of the followers. But you have an aura around you. What is the meaning of this?" And at this point, he also moves his head toward Talrashar. And he blinks at you, Tal, and you think you're not sure if he identifies you or not, but he then turns back to Azael. "Why are you here, human?"
Well, as we said, we're mercenaries, and we are here to make money. And as far as I can see, there's looting and plundering to be done, and there's a reward to be collected.
And he looks around and says, "Money, you say? If gold is what you seek, I can arrange for a large amount to fall right into your lap, if you listen carefully."
Oh, we're listening.
He straighten up, looks to the left and to the right. There was a group of raiders led by a bald man. I think you saw him last time. He was not very far. So the dragon, you think he's trying to make sure that he isn't seen. And then he lower his head and says, "There is a tower, a ruin of a tower south of here. Meet me there, alone. Midnight." And then he spread his wings and takes to the air. Before leaving, he inhales deeply. What do you want to do?
Tell the guys, let's move to the temple now.
Wait, book it.
Tal and Thokk, what
I
are
run.
you doing?
I run because I'm scared.
Okay, into the temple?
Yes.
Yes. The opposite direction from the dragon.
Okay, very good. So this means, yes, this means that you head to the temple. So you run to the temple. The people inside open the door as they see that there are no kobolds around and that the dragon is taking flight. And you all find yourself among a group of people you all know from the town, and they are basically led by Falconmoon, by Aiden Falconmoon, the town's priest, who looks very, very, very pale and sick. And at this moment, the dragon's breath, a bolt of lightning, explodes and shoots over to one of the buildings next to the temple and shreds it. It's like there's nothing left but smoke and debris. You can all hear the beams and wood and all kinds of rubble fall around the temple and that ruined structure. And then the dragon takes flight.
So immediately as we enter, I begin to start inhaling, exhaling out of relief that we just encountered a dragon and survived. And then I start actually looking around to see if I could see Maribel.
Okay.
Is she anywhere to be seen in the temple?
You feel an arm grabs you. It is Aiden, the priest. And he looks at you and he says, "Did I just hear you speak with the dragon?"
Yes, I spoke to a dragon. It was very interesting and a near-death experience for all of us.
He looks at all of you, and you can see, Tal, that many of the people inside the temple are actually looking at you and taking a step back. And then Aiden says, "Are you aligned with the dragon?"
Does it look like we're aligned? You've known us in this town for quite some time. You know that what we're doing here is to help you guys out. Why would we just align ourselves with the dragon now?
You spoke infernal to the dragon. He seemed to understand.
That's a story for another time. Right now, what we need to do is make sure that everybody here is safe. All these guys want is the loot. Do you have anything of value here? If you do, for your lives, on your lives, give it up and let them have it, and they will leave.
He looks at you as if he is about to continue to argue, but then he realizes the truth in what you say. He asks the people around him to gather their very few belongings and head outside. And he then looks at you and says, "We need protection. We need to get to the keep."
Guys, let's help them out. We'll protect them to the keep.
Okay, you... I need, as you talk to Aiden and all the people are gathered just next to the temple's door, Thokk and Tal, make perception checks. Sorry. Okay, so Thokk, you, as you stand just next to the temple's door and, looking from the window, you can see a group of raiders led by that bald mage. They approach the temple. They basically walk on the road from here to here. Oops. So some of the raiders look up and see the dragon takes flight. You can see that the bald man is quite confused, and they all head to the temple. It seems like it's a group of maybe 12 people. What do you do?
Have we seen them kill people, or are they just like taking away their stuff?
So you did see them put people to the sword, but most of the people they killed were trying to basically stand their ground. If they met no resistance, they basically went into the houses and sacked them. It does seem they're after loot and not after killing everyone.
I'm going to continue going. I'm going to open the door to the temple to have everybody give up their valuables, because we know that's what they want.
Okay. So the people basically listen to you as they pour out, and they start to run to the south. To the left, straight to the keep. Thokk, Tal, what do you do?
I ask the group if we're still pretending to be mercenaries, and then these are like captives, but we're basically just making our way to the keep or something.
I really don't see a point to...
Lying is often better than fighting.
Because if that's the case, I am willing to talk to the people here to be... We'll pretend that we'll tie them up. I have rope, and I'm not sure if it's enough, but well, mostly I'm like gonna make sure that they look like they're all prisoners here.
I'm not sure if this is the action, but if you think so, since you've actually before, we'll follow your move.
So Daniel, can you put on a headset or something like that? We're getting a lot of echo from you.
That's not mine. I'm actually wearing a headset.
Okay, so if any of you isn't, make sure to wear one because there is a lot of echo. Or just mute yourself if you're not speaking. So, Daniel, can you repeat that last sentence? I didn't get it.
What I was saying is, Tal, have the most experience dealing with these people. If you think that it's best that we pretend to be mercenaries to escort these good fellows back to the keep, then we'll do that.
Since we've gathered their like gold and other treasures, I'm gonna leave it to you to hold it, and then maybe I'll carry it, and then I'll let you handle the people here. We're not like really tying them up, but it's just like a loose knot around everybody.
So when you
And then-
basically approach people with the rope, Aiden steps in and he says, "No, you are not allowed to do that. I will not give you permission to hand us to the cultists."
No, I will discuss them about the plan about having pretending, but we're actually heading to the keep because we're not sure if we are enough to take down those group of people coming in.
So make a persuasion roll, charisma persuasion. Aiden doesn't seem to trust you at all.
Okay, persuasion. Have a D.
Okay, so he is not swayed by your words. He says, "Lead the way to the keep, we will follow."
Okay.
At least hide your weapons and try to look like you're defeated.
And he looks at you, Thokk, and say, "There is wisdom in that plan." And he whispers in the ears of his people, and then he rushes them out. He stays behind to make sure everyone are out, and then he looks at you, at all four of you, sorry.
Okay. So I'm just gonna
So-
bring out my weapon, and then I'll go. Do you guys want me to lead, or?
Yeah, Tal take the lead, I'll take the back.
Looks
Okay,
like it's
so-
your show, Tal.
I'll take the lead, and then do we have their belongings or valuables in the bag or in the sack or something?
So most of them didn't bring a lot of valuables, so they do have some food or some clothes. You know, it's women, children, and men. They didn't bring anything, like
If
money or something
possible,
like that.
I'll just bundle any stuff that we have here. We'll just say that if they check the bag or the sack that I'm carrying, I'll just say this is the only stuff that we got from them.
Okay.
But we're willing to pretend to get them as prisoners, just for this compensation of them having not too much valuables. But yeah, like I said, we're heading out towards the keep. In
Yes.
our real plan.
We're going to try to ransom them to the keep.
Yeah.
Okay.
As we're about to leave, I'm going to step back next to Thokk and whisper to him, "Get your sleep spell ready. Just in case."
Always.
Okay, so let me get it
And then-
straight. You basically let the villagers run to the keep while you approach the raiders?
No, we're keeping the villagers together like they were a group of hostages
Yep.
with us surrounding them.
Okay.
Tal in the lead. I'm in the back, and Thokk is off to one side, kind of making a triangle around the group of.
And this whole group is traveling
Refugees.
to the keep?
Yes,
And we're
the
gonna
whole group
make
is
our
going
way
to
to the
travel
keep.
to keep together.
Okay, got it. Great. So, as you form this plan of yours and start heading to the keep, basically surrounding the villagers, the bald man shouts, "They're escaping!" And then he points at the group and starts muttering. I need you all to make a basically initiative rolls.
Oh.
Okay.
Before combat starts, I just want to ask: did we had a long rest or something?
We had a short rest, and my initiative's garbage. Yes, we had a short rest, so if anything they have a short rest refresh, then you're good.
Okay, just want to confirm.
Okay, so we have Thokk at 14. We have Tal at 18.
And the best for last.
Best for last. Zeal. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so the bald man finger glow for a second, and then you can see a small ball of fire rolling toward your direction. But you did manage to gain some distance from the temple. I need you to make dexterity saving throws with advantage.
All of us?
Yes.
Oh no.
The dice really don't like you today.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see.
It's a lot of dice.
Yeah, that's a lot of dice. So everybody except Azael, guys, you all take 7 points of damage from the fireball that just exploded inside the temple. But Azael, you take double that damage.
Oh, okay.
Are you still alive?
Yeah, I'm still alive.
So I'll just make a quick roll for the villagers.
Oh no.
So out of a group of basically something like 17 men, women, and children, it seems like third of them got the full burnt of this spell, and they were simply incinerated on the spot. So you have right now something like 11 people who are all wounded and burned.
Out of character, is this because they were running or something?
So you're not sure, but you think maybe the bald man saw through your plan.
Okay.
And basically his men are now, he's surrounded by 11 humans, and they all rush at you with swords drawn. Now you do have some distance from them, so what do you want to do?
I say we run from them for first because we have too many people to risk.
I'm gonna yes. Run is the best thing to do at this point.
Okay.
As they run, I will volunteer to be at the back group.
Great. So you stay at the back, or to the back, Tal.
Yes.
As the other starts to simply dash to the keep. Do you do anything other than simply heading straight to the walls?
I'm going to cast my sleep spell, centered on the bald man, and try to catch as many of his group as possible within this radius.
Okay, so great. So do that, and then we'll resolve Tal's turn. So that's 23 points of hit points that you managed to put to sleep.
23 points go to sleep, starting with the lowest of the group.
Okay. So just a minute. Great. Let's see how many of them you put to sleep. Okay. So, 4 of the 11 that now chase you are down. So you have 7 people now running after you. Tal, if the group continues to run at the same pace and that group continues to run at the same pace, you think you'll make it. But what do you want to do?
I want to make sure that everyone's safe. Can I request? Half of the group to move in advance, just to check if there's any of the mercenaries or anyone any of the raiders are like on the side of the path that we are going to. I want to ask Roscoe and Azael to be at the front because I think Thokk was at the back casting a spell, so
Okay,
just
so
want them.
yeah. So looking left and right, you can't find Roscoe.
Was he with us during that dragon encounter?
Yeah, he was with you at the temple.
Okay. Well, I'll worry about that later on. Well, for me, my priority is to get these people safely inside the keep. So, I'll ask politely for Azael to be at the front of these people. Like take up the front.
Okay, so you're basically staying at the back and making sure nobody falls behind, right?
Yes.
Okay, so make an athletics strength check for me as you try to basically push the people from behind to make sure that they don't fall. Okay, that's a 12. Great. Let's see. So Thokk, you cast your spell. While you did that, you basically had to stay in one place and cast it. So now Tal has gone farther to the keep, while the raiders are now closing in. Anything you want to do? They are basically something like 60 feet, 50 feet from you.
Yeah, I'm gonna dash to catch up with the rest of the group.
Okay. Great. Azael.
Yes.
So you take the lead.
I do take the lead. How far is the wizard from myself?
So you think
right
it's
now?
something like 100 feet, 120 feet, something like that.
So as I'm running, I'm gonna turn one hand in his direction and cast Eldritch Blast, and just keep running.
Okay. So make your roll.
The dice love me today.
Yeah. Okay, so Thokk, Tal, and Azael, you are now basically almost in line, running towards the keep with all the villagers making their way to the keep. So you're basically all guarding their rear. At this point, the 7 soldiers that were under the command of the bald man basically closed the distance, and during their run, they're basically replacing their swords with short crossbows. They stop, aim, and release a volley at you. So one.
Do I notice them?
Yeah.
With the left crossbows?
Yep.
Is my initiative order before their fire or after?
After.
Okay.
Okay. So, Tal, one of them strikes armor class of 16 with an arrow.
That meets.
That
my
hits you?
AC. Yeah.
Okay, so you take 3 points of damage from the crossbow bolt. Thokk. Okay, so 7 doesn't hit. The other one is a 5. The last one is a 19.
Is that against?
That's
Against,
Thokk.
well, if that's against me, that hits me, yeah.
Okay, so you take 1 point of damage. So these were 5 bolts, and now we have 2 against Azael. So one of them is a natural 1, the other one is a 9, so both of them miss. The bald man heads to the temple, but his people are still chasing you. And we are now at Tal's turn.
Okay, so as a bonus action, I would like to heal myself with second wind. Not much, but that will work.
Okay.
And then, is everyone near the keep?
So no, you are still you still have quite some running to do.
Okay.
Not there yet.
So, and then behind me is Thokk, right?
So actually no, actually Thokk is first, then Tal, and last one is Azael.
Okay, then I will use my action to dash and catch up with the group.
Yep.
Seeing that no one's running towards us, like at the back. So, and they're firing their crossbows at us. So
Right.
I'll dash and move up to with the group.
Okay. Thokk, what do you do?
I'm going to burn my last spell slot and cast Sleep again.
Okay, great.
Yeah, Sandman.
Awesome. So you take down 3 more. So 3 more now fall on the ground. Crossbow cluttering on the ground. So out of the 7, you are left with 4. Okay, great. Which brings us to Azael.
Oh yeah.
Azael, make a wisdom saving throw. Oh, not a saving throw, a check. Okay, very good. So with that check, you can still feel the power of those ancient words that you spoke to the dragon. You feel like you can speak them again, but you're not sure what the result will be. But it's like this power trying to get away from you, or not get away, but manifest itself.
So as I'm running behind the group, I start to slow, feeling the power welling inside of me. I turn around and I speak this power towards those who are still left standing.
Okay. So as you allow that power to run through you, the ground shakes, and just before those 4 people, the 4 bowmen, a wall of fire basically erupts, and you can see that at the tip of the flames there are like tiny skulls or skull-like faces, as if the fire itself took the form of skeletons, and they basically dance and roar before those 4 raiders. They take a step back. They manage to land another volley, but this time obviously with a disadvantage. When after you did that, all your fingernails turned black. So let's say we have a disadvantage against Tal, so that's a 5, so you dodged the bullet. A disadvantage, so I'm not assuming 11 hits you, Thokk?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
No, AC 13.
Great. So another one at you. Again, it's a 3, so no damage there. And Azael. So does a 12 hit you?
Yes.
Okay. So you take 5 points of damage from that last arrow.
I'm down.
Okay, so Azael, after erupting that wall of fire, looking at his blackened fingernails, takes an arrow and goes down. And we're back to Tal.
Can I see where he is?
Yeah, so you basically glance behind you as you are all running, and you can see him taking an arrow and falling down. Behind him, you can see a wall of fire, and after that wall of fire, you can see 4 raiders. They look confused, but maybe they've seen their share of magic, so they still load their crossbow and run after you.
I think I'm aware enough that I am strong, but can I carry Azael?
So you'll need to make a strength athletic check. So you can
Okay.
definitely carry him, but you're not sure about running with him.
Oh,
Yeah, so with a 12, you can easily pick him up and start running again, but I might require you to make some rolls to see how exhausted are you.
I already have 1 stack.
Okay. So at this point, Thokk, what do you do? So you think you all covered halfway to the keep.
I'm gonna help grab Azael
Okay.
so that we can move as quickly as possible towards the keep.
Great. Make a strength check for me. Okay. So you and Tal kind of need to stop for a second and coordinate your efforts, but eventually you two manage to grab Azael's body and carry him. Azael, you're down, and I need you to make a death saving throw.
Oh,
Okay. So
here we go again.
yeah. So Azael's blood rushed down from his wound to your shoulders and clothes, Tal and Thokk. At this point, I need all of you to make Constitution saving throws, or Constitution checks. Sorry. And the villagers will do it as well to see if they. Okay.
Do I do it as well, or
No, you're down.
okay?
Okay, so Thokk, you push hard and you manage to basically avoid getting exhausted, but Tal, with Azael on you and you are already exhausted, so you take another level of exhaustion, basically. Tell you in a minute what it means. And at this point, the cultists, the raiders, they launch another arrow volley. Let's see. Exhaustion. So, you have 2 levels. Am I right?
You're right.
No. Are you referring to Tal?
Yes.
Yes, I now have 2 stats.
Okay. So that means, oh damn it!
Disadvantage on attacks, I think.
I think you were already at that. Let me check. 5.
Oh no, my speed.
Yeah, I
Speed.
think you drop your speed.
Yeah, I have disadvantage on ability checks, and then my speed is halved. But if I get another stack, that's where I get my disadvantage on attacks and saving throws.
Yes, right. So speed halved, meaning that you will basically, yeah, great. This is exactly what we needed. So you're basically, you won't be able to outrun the raiders if they will continue running after you. Okay, so 2 arrows, this time without advantage. They surrounded that wall fire, and so Tal. One of the arrows is a 3. The other one is an 18, which I assume hits you.
18. It's yeah.
Hits. Okay, so that's 6 points of damage.
Okay, I'm not looking so good.
Okay. Thokk, does a 14 hits you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's 3 points of damage. And the last arrow is an 8. So I'm not assuming 9 hits you, right?
No.
Okay,
AC 13.
great. So, Tal, what do you do?
We're still carrying Azael, right?
Yeah, so you basically, with your noodle arms and you're panting, and it's really difficult for you. Thokk, you feel him kind of drag behind.
In my head, I hear a voice that just told me I have noodly arms. So I will use that to fuel myself with rage and anger and just lift Azael, and we're still gonna push this through. Even though if I gain enough stack of exhaustion, I will make sure that this person and the rest of the group survive this barrage of arrows. So yes, we'll push through. Do you want me to make another save athletics check?
Yes, please.
I'm going to inspire him.
Okay. So as you are, gritting your teeth, Tal, trying to push through, Thokk basically starts. So how do you inspire him? You.
Cheering him on. So come on, man, we can do this. We're almost there.
Okay, so he's cheering you up. So what does that mean? He gets to add.
He can anytime in the next 10 minutes. He can add a die 6 to any saving throw or ability check.
Great. So add a die 6 to that 8. A d6 to that 8.
Even though it's a crit fail?
It doesn't matter. A crit is only on attacks and stuff. So
1d6 you said?
yeah. Oh, awesome. So with Thokk's inspiration, you basically manage to push through and cover a lot more distance than you thought possible for a Dragonborn in your situation, but you do it just fine. Thokk, what do you do?
Keep pushing for the keep.
Okay. Great. So you basically head down, looking at your feet, and just run. Some of the villagers linger behind you, kind of panting. Most of them are children or women. You want to do something about it, or are you pushing on? It's from the 11 people that are with you, 11 or 14, I'm not sure. So you think 3, let's see, 4 basically linger behind.
That's not good because I'm in no shape to fight.
So they still run, but exhausted. They basically fall behind you. So decisions. What are you doing, Thokk? Yep, you say something because if you do, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Better?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to leave Azael with Tal and run back and try to hurry the kids towards the keep.
Great. So you leave Tal, who is now groaning under the weight of Azael. Azael, make a death saving throw. Thokk, make an athletics strength check as you basically grab those people and try to...
oh no.
As you try to grab
Seriously.
them. Okay. So, Thokk, you do have some trouble making sure they will stay ahead of you. Sorry, that they will join the group. So we have now like two groups. Thokk with 4 people, and just after them, Tal is carrying Azael and leading the rest of them. So you have now covered something like 3/4 of the distance to the keep. And Azael.
Are we within shouting distance of the keep?
Who's shout? So you do see people on the walls, and you think there are. You know what? Make a perception check. Okay, great. So you make up shapes on the walls, but you think maybe they're signaling something, but you're not sure. You're not sure that your voice will carry as it is, because it's very loud. People are fighting. There's the roar of fires taking hold of buildings. So if you're saying something again, you're muted. I'm not hearing you.
No, just we're pushing on as best we can.
Okay, great. So the raiders will fire, but this time they will target the closest group, which is Thokk and his 4 people. So Thokk, an arrow lunge. You basically dodge it with a 2. It doesn't hit you. 1 arrow go to one of the villagers who is hit and falls down. So 1 villager is down, dead. Another arrow go to another villager with a 16. It gets it too. So a woman now lies dead on the floor. The last arrow, let's see who gets it. So it's spent for you, Thokk, again. This time it's a modified 20. So I'm assuming it hits you. You only take 2 points of damage. I can't roll today. Okay, so 2 points of damage after that volley, and you have 2 people are from your group are dead. There is a man and he carries a kid. And the kid is shouting, pointing at one of the bodies, probably his mother. But the man with you simply runs forward. He understands that his wife is gone. Tal, you are carrying Azael alone.
That is not a problem in my head.
Great. Let's see if the die concurs. So make your last... you're almost at the walls.
I'm going to throw my last inspiration.
Okay, great. So...
we're almost there, man. Keep going. You can do this.
Yeah, so with a 12, add your... Great. Okay, awesome. So, Tal, with your last breath, you basically... climb the small slope that leads to the castle, and now you can hear the people on the walls. They basically prepare this volley of arrows, and you can spot Escobert the redhead dwarf. He's basically signaling to you to circle the wall, and he kind of invites you, or not invites you, he suggests that you head this way. You're not sure why, but he basically shouts to you to head that way.
Quick question.
Yeah.
The group of people that we were trying to save, are they inside the keep?
No, they are basically running ahead of you and following Escobert's instructions. You see about half of them vanish behind the wall, so you can't see them.
Okay. I toss Azael upwards. No, okay, we'll go towards where Escobert was telling us to go.
Right. So when you do get there, you can see that they were lowering several rope ladders. So even though most of the townspeople are exhausted, they kind of manage to climb it and reach to the keep. And those who can't simply grab the rope ladder, and people from the keep are pulling it in. So they manage to get to the keep. And at that time, you can see that there are several group of raiders who they always look at the keep, so they seem to spot what's going on. But the defenders of the keep are firing arrows to keep them away. Anything you want to do at this point of time, Tal?
I will. Do I still have an action? Because I use my action to roll athletics check.
Yeah, you still have your action.
Oh, I still have my action. Okay, I will do something that I'm not sure if it's possible. So I will tie Azael on the rope bridge. I'll make sure that he'll get pulled up, and then if some of the people here are having troubles climbing up, I'll help them using my action.
Okay.
And then after that, if there's no more people here, I would like to use my action surge to go back to where Thokk is and get anyone that's left behind there, and I would like to carry them again back to the keep.
Great. So you do exactly that. You tie Azael's feet to the ladder and shout to the people above to simply lift him. He doesn't look very good, so his wound is bleeding a copious amount of blood, and you actually fear for his life.
I tap him on the chest and I go, "Sorry, pal, but there's more life that I need to save. I believe that this will not be the end of your journey." And then I silently whisper, "I hope that I go."
Okay, and as you rush towards Thokk, you can see that here goes my d20. You can see that he is approached by those raiders. You can see two people are dead just behind them, and the raiders are simply walking above their corpses, loading their crossbows again. Thokk, it's your turn. What do you do?
Keep running for the keep.
Okay. So make another athletics strength check to make sure that the other people with you are Okay. So that isn't enough to basically hoard them. So you basically have this man who is carrying a kid. He falls behind a little bit, which makes him a good target for the raiders. So 2 arrows. Sorry, it's not their turn yet. Okay, but basically you have one man lagging behind.
Can I grab the kid?
Yes, you can. The father understands what's going on. He hands you the screaming kid, and he tells you to run. So, are you staying with the man, or are you running to the kid?
I'm staying with the man. I'm just taking the way to the kid so that he can move faster.
Right. Great. Okay. Okay. So you both Tal and Thokk, you run to the keep, and Azael didn't forget you. You run to the keep and find rope ladders hanging from the wall. Now, Escobert lunges a volley of arrows at the 4 raiders. So let's see. Oh man, I need that dice that fell from my table. So 2 of them go down after taking arrows, but 2 are still alive. And Tal and Thokk, you basically help the villagers, the remaining villagers, to go up the ladder, and you start climbing yourself inside. as you do, as you go over the wall, panting, exhausted, you see a group of people around Azael. And Mirabelle is there, obviously trying to do something for him. Azael,
Yes.
roll the die, please.
Oh no.
That saves?
Yes, the
Yeah.
last one, maybe.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
Oh!
Mirabelle looks up, and with ashen face, she nods her head, and she says, "I couldn't save him." And at this point, most of the keep's defenders, they kind of look at you, but then they return to their post. They've seen a lot of death today. But Escobert runs down the guard tower, and he looks down and says, "Not good. Not good." He looks at you, Tal, and Thokk, and says, "What happened? Did the Halfling fall behind too?"
We lost track of him after the dragon.
He shakes his head, looking grim, and then he says, "Come, you need to rest, you need to eat, you need to refresh yourself." And he offers you a place near a table, which was haphazardly, placed with food, wine, and some refreshments. Obviously, the keep's defenders are using it as a place to eat and rest between attacks or excursions to the town itself. And he says, "Let's take the body to the priest's room."
Can I carry it?
He says, "Of course."
I'll help.
Okay. So you two go down the keep and carry the body of Azael to a room obviously placed and prepared for these grim moments. You can see a stone slab, some bloodstains who've been, probably someone tried to clean them up, but didn't do a very good job. You can see some towels, a big bowl of clean water, and some bandages. Obviously, probably Mirabelle used it to tend to other wounded people. You lay Azael's body on the table, and you just stand there for a while. And then Roscoe pops his head in and looks at all of you.
Is it possible to ask where he was?
He says, "I've been busy." "What happened to Azael?"
He's gonna sleep for a while.
And then he says, "Okay," and then he leaves.
Now I gotta explain this to him and he can. Is that okay? Okay, so I ask, who's with us? Who's the priest?
Escobert says, "Aiden, I will search for him. Mirabelle has replaced him for a while, but We were hoping he was one of the people who came with you from the temple. We did see you getting into and out of the temple. I will see if he's here." And then he leaves. He looks really shaken, and he kind of strikes his beard, and you can see that he was also part of the fighting. His face covered with black stains and maybe blood. He leaves you alone with the body, and then he leaves. At this point, I need you, Thokk and Tal, to make perception checks.
Okay. 17. 16.
Okay. You watch as Azael's body basically starts to float around the stone slab. It wasn't obvious at first, but now it is.
Okay, I ready my weapons and I go, what is going on here?
I move as far away from the body as possible, but still be able to, see what's happening.
Okay. You all see that same flaming crown that adorned Azael's head just a while ago, when you were at the winery. It flares into existence once more, and then you all hear a voice in your head. And the voice says, "Power, power, power, power. Might, might, might. Blood, blood. Fire, 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 fire. Will you pay?"
I look at Thokk and I look like very confused about this.
Cutscene to Azael. Azael, you find yourself floating in white light. It's kind of a misty light, so think about it like dense fog but illuminated, so it basically washes you in light. Looking up, you can see clouds, beautiful silvery clouds, and on top of those clouds, you can see two figures. One of them is an old man, white beard, blue eyes, and a golden crown upon his head. He looks at you and he reaches out to you smiling. Next to him is a young woman. She is holding a baby in her arms. You don't recognize her. Below you, you can see churning black clouds and a devilish face with its mouth open, and from that mouth you can see tendrils of black nothingness reaching out to you. On that devil's head there is a burning, flaming crown. You feel a tug either up or down. What do you do?
I go into myself and see if I can sense the presence that was there before.
Definitely the one below, but you can also sense something of the woman inside. It's very confusing.
I'm trying to see if I'm free of the previous person that was taken that was inside of me, is this person still there? That's what I'm searching for.
You think it is, and you are now given some sort of a choice. Embrace
Even
it,
in
or
death, you follow me.
he says, fire, 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 blood, 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 might, might, power, power, power. Will you pay?
All I wanted to do was be rid of you. I thought if I had died for a noble cause, then at least it would have meant something, and I would have taken you with me.
Die? Noble? You know better. Will you pay?
I have paid 1,000 times, and I'll pay it again to save those around me.
With that, cutscene to Tal and Thokk. What do you do?
Do you want to go ahead? Talk first, or should I go first?
I look at Tal as like, does he do this often?
I just to make this scene lighter, I go once in the blue moon. I point my blade, my axe towards Azael's floating body, and I go, "What do you mean, pay?"
For the life of your friend. Will you pay?
I look at Thokk back again and go, what should we do? Do we heed to the words of this voice in our heads, or what?
I don't know. He's your friend. I just met you guys.
Will you still pay no?
What's the price?
Fire, fire, fire. Blood, blood, blood. Might, might, might. War, war, war.
That's all happening outside the walls right now.
You hear a laughter inside your head.
I ask, is that like options, or that's all the deal that we have to pay?
Azael, you are floating there, pulled by two forces, one from above, one from below. And the voice from below says, "You were created. You were meant for greatness. Join me. Fulfill your purpose."
I have nothing, nor do I want anything from you, devil. I've only wanted to be rid of you.
And with that, the devilish face basically roars, and those blackened tendrils reach out to you, but they are blocked by this bright white light coming from the golden crown of the old man above, and you are pulled toward it. Back to Tal and Thokk. The voice says, "Your friend has a destiny to meet, a purpose to fulfill. He is important. In ways you don't comprehend. Your faiths are entwined. Pay and keep the circle unbroken. Pay.
I point my axe again. I will only do this. I will only pay, for he is my friend, not because he told me so. I want him back.
And then you hear a voice saying, the medallion. The last remnant of a Grinvostolt on your neck. Place it on the body.
Then I will do that. What you said, you asked.
Okay, so
I placed it.
you see Talrashar pulling out a medallion, a white silvery medallion. It looks like a dragon, some sort of a holy symbol maybe. And when you place it on Azael's body, it catches flame and disappears as if something took it. And at this point, Azael, you, even as you are pulled up, suddenly the white light becomes dull gray and then black, and then you can see the tendrils, the black tendrils wrap you, and with a big laugh that this devilish face pulls you down and says, the price was paid. Now, mortal, back. And he pulls you deep and deep inside his mouth.
The entire time I'm struggling, trying to get loose, trying to go back to the light.
So when you wake up on that stone slab with Thokk and Tal next to you, you wake up screaming. And Tal and Thokk, you suddenly see Azael's eyes flare open, and he is shouting and thrashing around like something is, choking him or something like that.
I slap him.
Tal, what was the color of your scales up to now?
My skin is green.
So now it turns deep black.
Oh, like my whole body?
Your scales, your Dragonborn scales.
Okay.
So they turn darker and darker, and then they're black. And then Roscoe pops his head and says, "Oh, you woke up. Good. I'll prepare breakfast. What do you like to eat?"
So I'm awake now?
Yes.
At this point?
Yes.
As soon as I wake up, I sit up quickly. I start looking around, trying to get in the area that I'm in now, trying to get accustomed to the new setting. And I say, no. I was almost rid of it.
Of what?
The devil inside of me.
And when you say that, you see Roscoe's skin turns pale, and then he leaves again.
I ask him, like, do you know the reason why this happened? And then I point at my scales and go, look at what happened. Like, do you know what's this? What's happening around me?
I start looking at him inquisitively, saying that with a look of, I have no idea. I just look at him and say, I've never seen that before. This is all new to me. I don't I never wanted this. This is unfortunate. I was hoping that if I had just died, the creature would have died too. It seems like it'll take a lot more to get rid of it. I need some time to myself. And I get up and I just leave them too, and go outside to contemplate what's happened.
When you get up, Tal, you spot on the stone slab that he just left, you spot in kind of an think of the silvery holy symbol resembling a dragon's face that you wore all that time around your neck. So think about that engraved into the stone in it looks like in black lines, but it looks grotesque, like someone twisted it. You have a very bad feeling about it. Whatever it was that you paid, you have a feeling like someone or something is now in great pain due to that. But Azael is definitely alive now.
Can I touch the symbol on the slab?
Yes.
Do I feel anything around it?
Yes.
Anything arcane, or
You
do I feel
feel
any?
it's like a voice telling you. It's very distant, and it looks like it's far, far away now. And it says, "Show them the light." And then it vanishes.
I talk to the slab. Are you talking to me?
So the only thing you are able to see before this entire feeling wears off is it's like the shadow of a dragon fluttering on the wall, but then it's gone.
I ask Thokk, did you hear what happened? Did you hear what the voices?
So Thokk, you did see the shadow of the dragon when Tal touched the symbol, but you didn't hear anything.
Okay, I'm just backing out of the room because this smells like bad juju, and I'm gonna go find a quiet place to hide and rest.
Okay. So, Tal, you are alone at the room. Roscoe has left, Thokk has left,
Yeah.
and Azael has left. What do you do?
Is this well? I'm too tired to ask if I could sleep here. I sit down and rest here if possible.
Okay. So, when you do, Escobert returns. He stops at the door and looks at you, and he says, "I am very sorry, both for your loss, but I also bring bad news."
I go out with it.
Aiden Falconmoon is murdered. We found him in one of the corridors of the keep. A blade through the chest. I think we have a traitor inside the keep.
Should we call everyone?
He looks at you and says, "Who to trust?" And then he looks around and say, "Where are your friends?"
I ask him if he is aware that Azael has been revived in some way.
His eyes go wide. And then he says, "The man was dead. Mirabelle won't do a silly mistake like that."
Oh, not anymore. He's back up.
He looks at you and says, Do you trust your friends?
Do you think some of my friends would betray you? Or is the culprit that killed what's it, sorry, was it Aiden?
Aiden, yes, the town's
Yes.
priest.
Okay, I go, do you think that one of my allies are the culprit, is the culprit that killed Aiden?
He says, I don't know, but it seems like your friends are a mystery.
Well, I'm a mystery and a wreck as well, but until we have enough proof, we can't point fingers on anybody here. Perhaps you could be one of the culprits as well.
He kind of foams at the mouth when you say that, but then he quickly relaxes as he understands that you didn't say this to challenge him, but because of your tiredness and your weariness. And then he says, we need to get word to El Turel. It's a town, it's a big town, a city north of here. They have priests and people who might be able to shed some light into all of this. And he basically points at the stone slab at you and around the keep and the sounds of the still ongoing raid. He says, we have sent people outside to make sure all the other villagers are safe. We've also sent someone to try and capture one of the cultists or the raiders to see what we can learn. I need someone to head east. There is a wizard living nearby who can use his magic to call for aid. Contact someone we know in El Turel, a member of the Order of the Gauntlet. And
Can you give me a name?
The wizard's name is Mordai Vel.
Like this, like Desmordai? Is that how it spells like?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I go, well, if possible, I may volunteer to seek that wizard, but I'm hoping, since I'm not sure if we can really rest here for a while, I was wondering if you have enough potions to provide me and my group.
He says that he is basically running down on actual potions because he has to keep all the defenders up and running, so to speak. But he says that he can probably supply you with a potion or two. He also adds that maybe Mordai will be able to shed some light into your recently revived friend. He looks at you and says, if there is magic involved, maybe he can look into things.
How does she react to my black scales
now? So he basically doesn't say anything. Maybe it's because all Dragonborn look the same for him. You're not sure. Maybe he's not very perceptive.
Okay. So, aside from that, I go, please wait for a while, or I'll get back to you once I've talked to the group.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure if we should help out here at the keep first before we head out, because I feel like we're leaving the group, your people, behind.
He looks at you and says, with the current situation of things, maybe it's best if Azael will not be in the keep. I don't like what you told me just happened.
I see. Well, I'll make haste.
Okay.
Do carry on what you are trying to do. So, I'll catch up with my group.
Great. He does hand you 2 healing potions.
Okay.
Okay, so you managed to find all your friends. Roscoe basically with his wooden spoon wandering around the keep. Azael probably found a quiet place to think about what just happened. And Thokk, he also went outside to breathe some air. So you do manage to find them all.
So as I find them all, I ask them. I know that I have proposed that we should defend the town, but Escobert has requested me to find a wizard that might aid us, and possibly might ask for reinforcement if we find him. The catch here is we have to leave the town to find this wizard.
How far of a travel is it from here?
Are we aware on how far the location was? What
So
the Elturel was it?
He said to the east. You think it's a couple hours, maybe half a day ride, or walk. Sorry.
If we go to the wizard, will we have how much time do you have until midnight?
So basically, it's like afternoon now. So
If we go east to him, how long will it take to go to the south to the ruins?
you might risk missing the meeting. So it's really up to you.
I'm just curled up in a corner somewhere sleeping.
I need.
Here's my thoughts.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
My thoughts is we rest. We all need it. We need time to recover. And we head south to the dragon. See what we can get from him. Afterwards, we head to the wizard. The more information we have, the better prepared we can be. And maybe, being how old dragons can be, he might know something about my condition, considering he was able to understand me. And your condition as well, so we can see that.
True.
You do appear a little different.
I shrug it off and I go, well, that's not our main problem right now. I agree we should take a rest because our journey will take a big toll on us. So what's this? Who was sleeping? Was it Azael?
Thokk.
Oh, Thokk. Okay. If he's sleeping, I wake him up and ask him on his opinion. Do you want to leave town and search for this wizard?
Or do you want to go see the dragon first? He has business for us. I have questions.
Well, he did ask. Did we hear that he was asking to meet him just by himself?
No, he
I
said.
thought he asked you to come alone.
No, he said alone as a group, not as with people.
Oh.
Yeah, so the 4 of you alone. This is what he meant.
I don't know, man. That's a scary looking dragon.
Not as scary as what's inside of me.
Now that I am a black dragon, I think I'm immune to lightning. So yeah, let's meet up. I go. Let's be cautious if we were to meet with this dragon.
I agree.
Either way, I need to rest. I'm useless, man.
I hand Thokk a potion, and then I ask Azael. So, about your curse. If by next time, if there is a possibility that you might die, should we still help you out, or should we just let you rest?
If it brings this devil to a conclusion and no longer be able to bring a threat upon this world, then you should just let me go.
Then So shall be it.
But as you've seen, I have no idea how to stop it. And if it's not you who agrees to the price, perhaps another. The only course forward is for myself to find someone or something to remove it.
I tell him maybe this wizard might give us a few answers.
That's why I want to talk to the dragon first, see what he has to say, because we need to get more information about what's going on, and then head off to the wizard.
Okay. Then do we take a short rest to for it to move to midnight, or?
Well, how long will it take for us to go from here to the tower or the ruins down to the south?
So just by asking someone, in the keep, you get a sense that it's something like a couple of hours. Behind the hill, or on top of a hill, there's a ruined tower who once was a guard post, but it was long abandoned, ages ago. The kids sometimes go to play there.
Yeah, we can take a short rest. Afterwards, we'll head on over there.
Okay.
I'm serious, guys. I need a long rest.
Was it?
Out of character,
If we
do
take a
have
long
enough?
rest, how close to midnight would that be?
Very close. So you might have to rush it in to just make it on time at midnight. But it will also mean that any reinforcement that should arrive, if this Mordai would call for it, will be delayed by that amount of time. So it's really up to you.
I say we get out of here, take a rest close to the ruins, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, just until we take a rest. I mean, a short rest, I can get my hit points back with my hit dice, but I'm not going to have any spells or inspiration.
All right, then. Why don't you take a rest here, and then I go meet with the dragon. Tal, you gonna come with, or are you gonna stay here? I'll come back afterwards.
I kind of want to take a short rest because I am almost. I need to recover for a while because I am almost near death's door as well.
We'll take a short rest and then head on out. We'll come back for Thokk.
Okay, agreed.
No, if we're taking a short rest and going, I'll go with y'all. But
Okay, so are you resting for a while here in the keep, taking a short rest, and then heading south to the ruined fort, to the ruined tower?
We're going to take a short rest and then head for the ruined tower.
Okay, great. So, as you eat and recover just a little bit, you can see that the people around you at the keep aren't very happy to see Azael on his feet again. With Aiden gone, and everybody knows the limit of Mirabel's abilities as a healer, they suspect something is off, and some of the villagers that were actually rescued mentioned that Azael was talking to the dragon in this weird language, and by the time you pack up and get ready to leave the keep, everyone seems relieved that you do. Escobert accompanies you to the to a small tunnel that basically leads underground to the banks of the river here. It's a sort of a sally port located here, and he basically walks you to the opening of the tunnel, and he opens the door and tells you that if you simply continue to the length of the tunnel, you will emerge at the riverbank, and from there you can probably head to the wizard quite safely and easily. Obviously, he isn't aware of your plan to meet the dragon first. When you do so, stand at the courtyard of the keep with the dwarf holding the open grate before you. You have a very strange feeling. It is like this is the crux point. There is war around you. Raiders are raging and burning. And the people that you are trying to save, who fight bravely for their lives, look down on you from the walls, and they seemed almost happy that you leave. Something has changed. You're not sure what or why, but you're not leaving with a light heart. Something is afoot. And with that last thought, you dive down into the tunnel and leave the keep behind you. And I think this is a good spot to stop for today.
Okay, quick bookkeeping. The healing potion you gave me, that was a 2d4 plus 2, right?
Yeah, the standard one. Yes, if that's what it means, then yes.
Yeah. Okay, and then anybody who used healing dice, with my Song of Rest, you get an extra 3 hit points.
So the resurrection that I just had, is that gonna put me back at full health, or where am I at?
So yeah, it puts you on full health.
Okay.
Okay, great. So we have a lot to think about, and we'll see where things go next Friday.
I thought that he would roll another character.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, choices. Maybe he would have, but it all comes down to the choices that you make.
Well, technically, if I declined the offer to pay, maybe he did.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So yeah, I'll see you next week. Hopefully, I think Ben will join us, right?
Yes, he'll be here next week.
Great. So
he should be.
We'll be in full force for a meeting with a dragon.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Great. Okay, guys.
Out of the jaws, back to them again.
So have a great week, and we'll talk, and then we'll meet.
And thank you for the session.
Great. Thank you guys for showing up.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.